Welcome back, pod people. Today, my guests are Dustin Mattson, the writer-director of Tapehead, The Return of Jacob Cobb, and Megan Mattson, the cinematographer and editor. And this is a special treat for me because if you've listened to the 2023 Slimy Awards episode, you'll know that Tapehead won the award for Monster That I Most Want to See Return. So your award, a vial of slime, is en route at the moment. And I'm happy that I got to see the return of Jacob Cobb. So welcome back to the show, Dustin, and welcome to the show for the first time, Megan.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's an honor to be back.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad to have you back. So, Tapehead, The Return of Jacob Cobb is a really interesting movie to me, sort of structurally in terms of its production and release, because the original Tapehead short film, and I say short, but that might be a little misleading because it's like 40 minutes long, so quite hefty. It's not a 5-minute short like the films I've been making. That one's available for free on YouTube. Anyone can go watch it right now. Whereas The Return of Jacob Cobb is doing a bit more of a traditional release. You can purchase it for streaming or in physical format at, I believe it's tapeheadthemovie.com. Is that right?
It's our link tree, so it'd be linktree slash Tapehead movie. I believe something like that. It's odd the way Linktree works, but yeah.
Yep. Linktree slash Tapehead movie, exactly. No underscores or anything. So, I'm really curious, what was the experience of making the short film like compared with making the feature film? I've heard they're really different, but I've usually heard that from people who were making 5 or 15-minute short films, whereas your short film was nearly a feature. So tell me a bit about how those two experiences compared with each other.
Well, for me, I would say like with the short, like we were just kind of cutting our teeth. We didn't really know that we had it in us to make a feature or if we could make a feature. So a lot of it was like fly by night. Will this work? Let's shoot this. We're just moving at a rapid pace. And when it came to the feature, we were able to really slow down, take our time with storyboarding and walking through a lot of things and figuring out, shot composition and stuff like that. So we were just able to slow down a lot more, I think, is my biggest takeaway.
I felt like we had a lot more experience, obviously, with the second one, and we kind of knew what worked and what didn't work with the short and integrated new ideas and got rid of ideas that didn't work with the first one. So yeah, each one is probably going to get easier and easier.
Hopefully. Yeah. Could you go into a little detail about that? Like, what ideas did you have and then get rid of, or things that you realized you could do now that you didn't used to be able to do?
Basically, when we did the short, again, this was like we shot that in 4 days, just around the clock shooting, and weren't really sure of how to structure things. And it became apparent when we were in the edit that, boy, like we did not take into account like the transitions from scene to scene. And so that whole creep show homage thing was kind of a last minute addition. Like, if it's a comic book, it works, and the panels can move and blah, blah, blah. And when it came time to do the feature, when I sat down and wrote the script, I like very consciously would end each scene on like a specific like type of deal, so I could transition into the next scene, or use a roar transition into a burp type of deal or whatever. We were just very conscious of that kind of thing, so we removed that whole comic book aspect and just kind of made this true to form, like love letter to those direct-to-video 80s slashers was really what I was going for. And I wanted to keep some humor, but I didn't want 3 fat guys dressed like Alvin and the Chipmunks. I was like, I'm not going to be on camera. I'm not doing this. But, I wanted young, attractive, nice kids. And I wanted Jacob to be scary. So we really, really went back to the drawing board and figured out his silhouette and his just his presence. We really wanted to, if he's iconic, then like the budget's a little more forgiving because you're like, man, that guy's cool. Like I would like to see him kill more people, So that was kind of what I did with it.
Yeah, the silhouette, that's an interesting thing to comment on. That in cartooning and such, the standard for like, is this character, really well designed and recognizable, is can you recognize them just by their silhouette? And yeah, Tapehead with the big rectangular VHS thing on his head, that makes sense. Cool. So yeah, can you go into a bit of detail about like what changed in his design, the practicalities of it, and your goals from the first one to the second?
Yeah. So with the first film, obviously our budget was like non-existent. So we were able to get one look for him, and then we had to stick with it. And if I had the money, he would have been like bulbous and kind of wrong turny, a little, Jason Part 2 pre-death, and then he would have come back like emaciated and rotten. But I didn't have the money, so it was just very important with this movie to nail that look of like a lot of people hate Maniac Cop 3, but I love Maniac Cop 3. That like they keep him in the shadows a lot. And they, slather him with slime, so the slime is hitting the light, and it's just creepy. It's just got this creepy, like emaciated, nasty look to it, and it feels more violent. It doesn't feel as silly. And I think like the main thing when we started figuring out that we were going to make him sunken in and all gross, we had the actor Dylan Weeks come over, try on all the new gear, and we did like a low light test, and Megan did like a photo shoot, and we just kind of let him move around, and we got to experiment with like putting that thick water on him and seeing how that was going to catch the light. And yeah, she really was like nailing that, like putting fog behind him to get that cool silhouette and the light and everything. Yeah, rock star.
I think another thing that we did differently is we realized that, and we were panicking with the first one with how short of time that we had. So we really wanted to rush everything. And one of the things that took a long time was the hair and makeup and stuff. So we did get some gloves that Tapehead actually wore in the second one that he didn't have in the first one. So that cut down on, getting ready, getting him into the costume too. And it was a lot easier for him to get out of it. We used a different type of mask for the second one. And so it wasn't as heavy, and it was much easier to get on and off. So he was able to, cool down in between takes and everything too. So that was something else that we were very conscious of, because he was very, very warm during the filming. Well, during both of them. But yeah, it was really hard to get that first mask on and off.
Yeah. So yeah, we changed companies, and it's night and day. And with Dylan, it was also a conscious decision to, in the first film, that VHS tape is very much intact, and you were supposed to be able to see out of it, which we talked about in our previous podcast. Like, he was supposed to be able to see out of it, but once he put the silicone hood on and then the mask, he was blind. So as soon as we wrapped that first movie, I said, if he's coming back rotten, I'm going to rot that VHS tape. I'm going to melt it. And, is it practical that there would be a hole melted where his eye is? Probably not, but
there could be fire underground. You never know.
Yeah, it's maggots chewed that hole in it or whatever. But it's there. And that also gave me the ability to put contacts in Dylan's eyes. So he has like these yellow, gross eyes. But so he has another tool to act with, but it was so important that he could see, because then he could move with purpose and anger. And yeah, he was able to do that thanks to that new design. So that was the big thing. We sat down and had like a big list of what makes it look iconic, like what makes it functional. And I just, checked it off as I went along. Like, I'm melting the hole, I'm making it less heavy, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, there were a lot of shots in this that made me think of specific other movies. And I'm curious, like I'm guessing a lot of them were intentional. I wonder if any of them were unintentional. You mentioned Maniac Cop 3, which sadly I haven't actually watched yet. The entire Maniac Cop series is on Tubi at the moment, so they're on my list. I'm gonna be watching them, but I haven't yet. But with the scene with the homeless guy in the alley, that kind of reminded me of the original Toxic Avenger. And
a little bit.
And the scene at the garage sale reminded me of the opening of the Chucky television show.
Nice.
Which,
yeah.
Megan looks surprised at both of these.
So actually neither of those were intentional, but I mean, I'm rooted in trauma. We had that discussion, a while back. I grew up on trauma, and oddly enough, that's not a sediment that sentiment. My bad, sediment. That's dirt. Sentiment that my crew shares. A lot of them they don't like trauma, and so I mean, I tried
company included.
Yeah, I tried to get my wife in, and she's like, not for me. Like, she's okay with the OG Toxie, and she doesn't mind Terror Firmer.
I can appreciate what they are, and like kudos to it, but like no, it's hard for me to sit through.
so she doesn't dig it. My YouTube cohort, Evil Dead Inks, or Chris Daniel, who plays the shitty redneck Clem in this Tapehead movie, he hates trauma.
Oh my goodness.
And so it's kind of it's just me, and it's my like inner 9-year-old, like, yeah, but slime, or whatever. And the Chucky thing, I got to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of that series. I bought the first season, and I still have yet to finish that season. I was just like, I don't know.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3 for me are pure gold, and then Curse. But I don't like Cult. Curse. I don't like Cult. I don't like Seed. I don't like Bride. I loathe Bride, which oddly gets me in trouble, because a lot of people, they love Bride, and I'm like, that's where he stops. It stops being a Child's Play movie, and it's a Chucky movie, and that's different. So very different feel.
I agree with you that it's definitely a very different feel. I really enjoy watching, since they're all like written and directed by the same guy. I really enjoy watching that guy's vision for it change over time. And I'm with you that Curse is probably my favorite one.
It's awesome.
It's so good.
It's one that really goes back to being. I predict you would agree that it goes back to being a Child's Play movie instead of a Chucky movie.
Yeah, and it's very Hitchcockian, which is nice to bring that suspense back. He's not jumping right in doing the Chucky laugh and saying silly shit. We hold on to those cards for so long, and everybody in the audience knows he's Chucky. They want him to be Chucky.
Yeah.
But we wait like a good 45, 50 minutes into the movie to be like, haha, I am Chucky, and it's like, man, I missed that. I missed that feeling. I didn't know a movie that's like the 7th in a franchise could make me like feel that again, and it did, so
yeah. I think the scariest scene in the entire franchise is when the little girl in Curse is like holding on to Chucky, and he's just lying there lifeless, but his pupils dilate.
Amazing.
Yeah. So are there any particularly subtle moments like that in Tapehead, The Return of Jacob Cobb, that you're proud of, that I might have not spotted on a first watch through?
So there are actually a couple of homages to other films and stuff. One of them is the shower scene. I didn't want to do it exactly like Psycho, but it's kind of reminiscent of Psycho in the shots and how the axe doesn't.
No, you're fine. We can
Okay, yeah, we're doing spoilers.
Oh yeah, this is a full spoilers podcast. It is
Okay.
assumed that anyone listening to this either has already seen the movie or is like me, content with going into movies with spoilers.
Okay. And so like how the axe never actually penetrates or anything and the blood and
obviously the way she falls. Yeah.
falling out of the tub and everything was homages to Psycho.
There's just a very simple, when the next door neighbor is spying, looking through the window, trying to catch teenagers naked. We cut to a chest shot of Tapehead carrying the axe. And that was very important to me. That's from an homage to Madman. There's a certain shot in Madman where he's, his shoulders are all big and he's holding that axe and he's completely silhouetted and he's got a harsh backlight behind him. So I wanted to do that, but not exactly. So there are certain people who have seen it and go, is that from Madman? And I'm like, yes. So, we did that.
A lot of our lighting is from Italian inspired stuff. So that was a huge one. We didn't want boring lighting. We really wanted, color and depth and stuff.
Yeah. We're big fans of not ever having a boring frame. So I feel like that's another thing that is kind of our signature is that there's always a ton of color, tons of like fog, which everybody on set gave me so much shit. They're like, here this fucking guy is with his fog. Like there's never enough fog. No, I wish I had $1 billion fog machine, but
a shirt that says Fog Daddy or something.
More fog, please. I'd rather have more fog than blood, to be honest. But it's just, that's kind of our thing is if the frame is interesting, the budget doesn't matter. If it's visually striking, you kind of get a pass, because we almost had the exact same budget on the feature as we did on the short. I mean, just a smidge more, really. So it's kind of crazy that we were able to do a whole feature for that little amount of money. But yeah.
Well, and we were able to use the budget of the stuff that we got from the first movie for the second one. So we already had that.
Yeah, true. Equipment and whatnot.
Yeah, reusing things like that is really important in terms of keeping the costs down. I don't know if you've read Roger Corman's book, How I Made 100 Movies in Hollywood and Never Lost a Dime.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One of the main lessons is that in that is if you ever have an opportunity to use equipment to make a movie, instead use it to make 2 movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, he's a genius. And so that's one of my Bibles. And then my other one is Graydon Clark's book On the Cheap. It's
I haven't read that one.
Fantastic. And then obviously if you're a Lloyd fan, everything I need to know about filmmaking, I learned from Toxic Avenger or Make Your Own Damn Movie. Those are both fantastic books. Because I don't know about you. I know you make shorts, but I didn't go to film school. So a lot, that whole Quentin Tarantino quote is, I didn't go to film school. I went to films. We have a video store in our basement with 6,000 movies. We watch everything from the cheapest of the cheap to the most expensive. And it's like a osmosis, we absorb it and we're like that. And then we have these lookbooks that we create with like screenshots and
cool.
we obsess over that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I did not go to film school. And indeed, the last time that we spoke, I had not made any shorts. And it's only because so many of the people that I've been interviewing encouraged me to do so that I got started. And now I've made 2. So who was the author of that On the Cheap book? I want to write this down and read it.
Graydon Clark, because Graydon Clark, he made Without Warning. He made Uninvited. I'm trying to think of
Uninvited, the one about a cat inside a cat.
Yeah, the cat monster on the boat. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Graydon Clark movie.
Wow.
He's a really smart, no money filmmaker. And
Interesting.
every movie he's ever put out, it will captivate you because he can take $1 and make it look like $1 million. It's awesome.
That is cool, man. That book is out of print, and the people who have copies of it know that people want it.
Well, check his website. Look up Graydon Clark's website because I believe he
Okay.
sells autographed copies on there.
Oh, all
We got to
right.
meet him in 2014 at Crypticon in Kansas City, and I'm pretty sure by the end of that weekend he was sick of me because I was like, "Listen, man, I got to talk to you about Without Warning because that's one of my all-time favorite movies." So I'd just be like, "Let's have a little conversation." And I took about 40 stupid pictures with him. I think by the end of the weekend, he's like, "Get this kid away from me." So
Yeah. Let's back up a moment and talk a bit more about the lighting, because one of the things that only the people who I interview know and not the people who listen to this know, since this is a video call, I have my own little lighting set up here with blue backlighting and a red side light on me, which is quite similar to a lot of the lighting that you use in Tapehead with the multiple vivid colors. And one thing that I really appreciate about it is that you don't seem to do the thing that a lot of modern Hollywood lighters do, where they're like, "Oh, well, if the lighting isn't motivated, then I can't have it in the scene."
okay, so
That is a rule we really like to break. We're
Yeah.
like, we don't care why this red light is here, but it is.
So yeah, just a quick sidebar before I let Megan talk about lighting, and the motivated lighting thing. That's like I said, we have a very small crew. So it's like me, my wife, my sound guy is my tech guy for my YouTube channel, and he loves to be like, "Hey, why is that light like that? Where's the motivation for the light?" He loves to bring that up, and I'm like, "Guess what, dude? Hold the boom." I'm gonna pump some fog in the living room. Why? Because I can. So we're really all about just being as off the wall and strange as we can be. So yeah, go ahead if you want to discuss anything about the.
Well, I don't know. I guess the first, Italian movies were a really big factor for it. And then we were just lying in bed watching Forensic Files one night, and I'm just like, this is like a normal laboratory in the background, and it's just blue and green and like all of these crazy colors. And I'm like, if Forensic Files can make a normal white lab room look good, like we can make all of our shots look good. So thank you, Forensic Files, for being like carrying a blue and pink light around and making everything look so cool.
Yeah, well, and then so I mean, it doesn't. There's some things that aren't motivated, but they become like just part of the movie. It became like a moniker when we were making the movie. Every time we'd bust out the lights, invariably one of the crew would say, "Green means Tapehead."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Yep." Anytime the light is green, he's on his way. And it started out on accident, and then we're like, put green on him because it makes the the divots and the slime pop really hard.
Yeah.
And then it just became this thing where green means Tapehead. Green and fog is Tapehead. And then like blue for us has always, the 80s horror films in particular, blue was always nighttime. So,
yeah.
For why is nighttime blue? I don't know, but it looks awesome. So that became like our thing too. Just put blue light everywhere. There's no real other color popping through. It's just blue as shit. And, it really makes the shadows deep and makes the blacks pop really hard. So, yeah, we were all about the blue and the green for sure.
Yeah, I think that's something that we're going to take into our next film, to be more conscious of lighting and not have it, just like not have a reason for it, but certain people being associated with a certain color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I really like that kind of motif in films. Talking about whether to use motivated or unmotivated lighting, I always remember a quote from, I think it was the lighting director on Lord of the Rings, where somebody was saying, well, where is this light coming from on the, the Battle of Helm's Deep? And saying it comes from the same place the music does.
The edit, yeah.
Well, then I was gonna ask, is that a Lord of the Rings map behind you?
Yeah, my room is decorated with fantasy maps. So that's we've got Candlekeep Tower from Dungeons and Dragons and Middle Earth and a bunch of other stuff over to the side as well.
Nice.
Yeah, she's a massive Lord of the Rings fan. So
nice.
And I mean, yeah, I'm a Peter Jackson fan, not necessarily a Lord of the Rings fan, but so we can live in the same house because.
Yeah. So there's a bunch more, and it's not the Peter Jackson King Kong, but there's a King Kong poster right there.
Nice.
And a skeleton that I've been dismembering to make props out of.
Totally normal.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. So you mentioned a moment ago that lighting specific colors associated with specific characters is something that you're going to be bringing forward to your future projects. Sounds like you've got future projects in mind already.
Yeah. So we are one that's happening like as we speak, and it's not a big thing or anything, but we're filming a faux trailer. Just making a faux trailer for something that's not ever going to be a feature.
Okay.
But just for fun, and it's going to go up on the YouTube channel, and we'll put it up. We'll put it in festivals and stuff.
And then we'll probably use it as fake trailers before like our full length movies that we make.
Yeah. So that is it started as a joke 4 years ago, when we were plotting shooting that first Tapehead. We were making jokes about shooting faux trailers, and somehow, some way, we got really on this those kid movies, like kid ninja movies, like Three Ninjas and Surf Ninjas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were laughing about those and like the way those trailers always play out, and somehow we birthed the name Bike Ninja, and we had this like with my son, we're like, you're like a ninja who rides a BMX bike and da-da-da, and like it just was this joke, and we were always going to do it. And my son kept asking, like, when are we going to do this? And we wrapped shooting Tapehead Return of Jacob Cobb, and obviously you've seen it, so he's very adolescent in that movie. He's like right on the edge of becoming a teenager and going through the voice change and all that stuff that kids do.
Right.
We wrapped, and I'm not kidding, we had like a pickup shot of him. We did the pickup shot, and I was like, we have to get this pickup shot because he's about to start getting pimples, his voice is going to start cracking. And within like a week he like shot up a foot, and the wardrobe didn't fit, and it just kind of started sounding like the Fry guy from Simpsons,
yeah.
And now he's like, he's
a man now.
Yeah, turning into this teenage boy. And so I'm like, if we're going to do Bike Ninja, we got to do it like before he looks more like a man than I do. So we're working on that right now. And it's just a little thing. And then after that, we have a feature that we're going to be doing. I don't know if I should say too much about the feature, but yeah, we've got some plans.
All right. I might ask you again about that after we stop recording.
All right.
It's amusing to me. I've got 3 different filmmaker friends who I met through this podcast and am now Facebook friends with, who keep posting about like, hey, check out how my son is like getting really good at martial arts, and they're all the same age.
Yeah, no, my son is a freak of nature. I'm assuming you're speaking of that photo of him with like every ab under the sun. Yeah, he's so jacked, and I'm like, this is not fair, but like,
yeah, it's you guys and Chris Doobie from Paper City Burnout and Len Kabasinski from Challenge of 5 Gauntlets and Pact of Vengeance and a bunch of other stuff. All 3 of you have like surprisingly intense martial arts kids.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know where that comes from. But yeah, like
well, from us, I mean, you've been teaching him martial arts since he was inside the womb. So.
yeah, I suppose. Well, I mean, being in a house, I was a mixed martial artist, a professional fighter for a number of years in my younger days. So obviously he kind of picked up on that, but yeah, now he has surpassed me. I tell him all the time, I'm like, the stuff you're doing now, the stuff I was doing when I was like ready to retire from fighting. Like you're a terrifying individual. Like God to help the first kid that picks on him this year at school. I'm telling you, you're going to get lit up.
Oh, man.
Let's hope he can settle it with words instead
Yeah.
of fists.
The way of the warrior.
Yeah. All right. So, currently you are selling Tapehead, The Return of Jacob Cobb on your website. Do you have plans to do distribution on other platforms like Tubi, try to get it to, I don't know, Shudder or something? What are your distribution plans for it?
So we've actually we're in talks, serious talks, about putting it on Amazon Prime. So
okay.
that's one avenue we're looking into exploring. I've had a couple people pitch the Trauma streaming app to me. A couple other buddies have pitched the Tubi thing to me. But I think Amazon, if we're going to do it, Amazon seems like the least troublesome to go through. I mean, there's like, I'm not a tech guy. So again, that's my sound guy and my, guy behind the curtain when it comes to all this stuff. He's very much like, well, I can make that happen. I can do this. I can do that. And it's just mainly me being an old man. Really, is I'm the one that's in the way because I almost feel like a hypocrite. My whole thing is physical media. I literally have a video store in my basement.
Right.
I preach it. That I'm not a great big fan of streaming, but I understand it's a necessary evil because we don't have a video store anymore. There's no video store for people to go and, accidentally rent Puppet Master and think that it's got the same budget as Navy SEALs or something, and so the streaming platforms they are our level playing field. They're where we can appear like we belong. So I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, do I need that $2 more than I need my integrity? And that's, and every independent filmmaker that I know is like, dude, it's a death sentence if you don't go on streaming. And so like everyone is swaying me. It'll be Amazon probably before this podcast goes live.
And I think our main goal is for people to see it because we want to make more. And the only way to make more is if we can get more people behind us. And the way to do that is for people to see it. So, and the best way for people to see it would be streaming because a lot of people I've run into say they don't even have DVD or Blu-ray players or anything like that. So the way for people to see it is going to be streaming. So begrudgingly, we will put it on streaming.
I mean, we had one theatrical screening and
so far
and it's sold out. So that was insane to see that many people in a room watching our movie. And then afterwards, a lot of them bought it, but then a lot of people came up to the table and were like, that was awesome. I want to watch it again. But yeah, I don't have a DVD player. I don't have a, Blu-ray player. Definitely don't have a VCR because I'm going to do a limited run of VHS tapes, which that's for a very, very small community. So I'm aware that like spending that kind of money to not make any money is stupid, but
Well, if you can break even, then that's the part that really that's the line that is necessary in order for something to be sustainable.
Yeah. So basically, like, I mean, when we make a film, it isn't like paying all of our bills and it's not a full-time gig yet, right? Like as far as the revenue earned. But the cool thing about it is it will allow us to buy a new lens or buy some new lights. and then, then we have another piece to our kit for when we decide to do something else. And so that's kind of cool. But yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me how the professional, like big, huge industry, conglomerate corporations typically rent equipment like lenses and cameras and stuff for their productions, whereas most of the independent people that I talk to own their own stuff, which is kind of the opposite of how I would have naively guessed, but it's a really consistent pattern. And so, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, we do rent lenses occasionally because they are expensive to purchase. But I mean, yeah.
Well, we did have an idea for this movie. We wanted to make a miniature graveyard, and we were going to rent. I don't know what the real.
We call it a snoot lens.
We call it a snoot lens because it looks like a long snoot. I don't know. And to buy one of those was like $5,000, and to rent it would have been like maybe $200 or
for a
so
weekend,
for what we needed it for. But
you're talking about like a macro photography lens.
Yeah, really long.
It's a really long. I can't think of what it's really called. If I had my phone, I would look it up. But the other lenses, we knew we needed them for a longer amount of time, and we budgeted it out, and we figured that actually buying it would in the long run cost way less than renting it. It was going to be about the same, and we're like, well, screw it, we'll just buy it and have it for the next one. So
yeah, I think that's a really sensible approach, and it's really confusing to me that the big guys who have like way more money don't just also do that, don't just own all of their stuff in-house. But
yeah, who knows? Yeah,
maybe they just need so much that they have nowhere to store it.
I think I think the issue is the world moves so fast and things upgrade so quickly, and 1 minute like the Arri Alexa is like the king, and then all of a sudden like the red Komodo or whatever it is, like whatever, it just keeps, and it's like, oh, this is 4K, well this is 8K, this is 12K, this like, and we're like, whatever, we're gonna shoot in 1080, like deal with it.
The amount of progress since even just from DVDs to now, I mean, that was all in. I mean, I remember DVDs coming out, I think, and now it's 8K, and it was just so many steps from then to then in such a short amount of years. And well, I guess like 30.
Yeah, we're old. We're getting up there. But,
I think standard DVD resolution is like 720p or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which nowadays is considered on the low end. It's wild.
I know. A lot of people give me crap because I probably have like 4,000 DVDs, and they're like, why not upgrade those? I'm like, they still look solid. I don't know. Like, I'm good. I don't need them all on Blu-ray.
Yeah. A lot of the sort of almost fetishization of having, as many megapixels as you possibly can, it just seems weird to me, because like I watch a lot of old movies, including some that are shot on video, and like these are professionally made and released films that are like 480p or so. And just a lot of old black and white, shot on film, but the film quality is not up to modern standards. It's so strange to me that people put these really high standards for technical specs on modern films when so many classic older films would never meet that.
Yeah, true. That's what, until they get their like 4K, digitally upscaled hooplery edition where like, Dean Cundy sits in and goes over every single frame with the colorist or whatever. Like,
well, and I think it's important to watch the film on the genre that it was filmed for, because you've got the VHSs, and then you upgrade them, and then you can see like all the strings and all of the the magic comes more to the light, and some of the magic is gone that way.
Yeah, stuff is better hidden in the shadows, and
Yeah, absolutely. Last summer, my local drive-in did a triple feature of I think the first one was Halloween, definitely Nightmare on Elm Street, and then definitely Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the first two that I watched, it looked like I remembered it looking. But then for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they had a much sharper print than I'm used to seeing of that. And all of a sudden, I could tell what parts of the set were there originally and what parts were set dressing that they had added. And I'd never been able to tell that before. And it brought me out of things. And so, yeah, it's interesting to me how, like, out of all of that sort of, artifacts of the technology of the past and everything, the only one that people really seem to consistently agree on is 24 frames per second. Whereas for me, like, yeah, no, I completely agree. 24 frames per second, that's the way to do it. But I also think like 1080p, that's the resolution that sings for me. Anything higher than that, and it starts looking almost like a video game, or and anything lower than that, and sometimes it can be hard to tell what's going on. So I wonder.
No, I'm with you.
I wonder what it is about frames per second that makes everyone agree on that, but then everyone disagrees on everything else.
I don't know, but
because we agree on the 24 frames per second.
Yeah,
that was something that we messed up with the first movie. We didn't shoot 24 frames per second. I can't remember what we shot in, but
it had to get fixed in the edit.
it was like, as I didn't know my camera as well as I thought I did, and I thought I changed it to 24 frames per second, and then I went into it and I'm like, so yeah, it's not 24 frames per second. And he's like, what are you talking about?
I was not thrilled. That was like, all the pigment comes out of your face.
Oh
like,
my goodness.
I hate that like smooth thing about faster. I hate it. And when I was looking at the raw footage of the original Tapehead short, I was like, oh, it all looks like that. Like, it has to get fixed. And so, like, troubleshooting and many, many YouTube tutorials later, figuring it out. And so it didn't like look jittery or weird. We were able to get it down to what it needed to be. But I was like, it can never, ever look like that ever again. Like, it looks like an aquarium or something. Like like a screensaver of an aquarium. Those really crappy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too smooth, like a soap opera. It's gross looking.
Yeah. Yeah. Soap operas are. I know exactly the look that you're describing.
Yeah, it's weird and too flowy. I don't like too flowy. I'm gonna keep on stuck on that now. I hate it.
So something I meant to ask back during when we were talking about lighting earlier, what was the actual like lighting setup? How many lights did you have? What kind? I assume sort of RGB, do whatever color you want. I'm guessing that the scene with the police lights, that was a part of your LED setup like that. How many lights did you have? What were they? I'm curious.
So we had we've got a lot of different types of lights, and most of them are LED. We've got what we call stick lights, which are battery powered, that we just put on stands that you can change colors. But then we have some really nice ones that can be hardwired, and you can actually get on your phone and change the brightness and the color and everything, which at first I was just like, oh, why do we need all of this? It's just more stuff to break. And then I used it. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I don't have to tell someone or go up and change the light. We could just, hone it in and on our phone and just stay right here and
save
that was
save a preset. Like,
ooh.
So that was one of the big things. So I think we have 4 of those stick lights, which I talked to you about last year, I believe. And then with these RGB ones, I believe the brand is Newer, like NEEWER. And I think we have 4 of those total also. And then we have some other, like her regular photography lighting. But like the cool thing about all of the color and all of the like brightness and everything that we accomplished throughout the film, like since we live in the house that we shot in, Megan and I were able to, during the week, put the lights where we wanted them. And then we used, gaffer tape and put it on the floor, and we, each color of gaffer tape had its own purpose. Like, this is a light. So then we would be able to write on that tape, like, this is an RGB light. It's at 12%. It's at this temperature, or whatever. And
we could really like hone it in so well. And so those LED lights are our favorite because we can get, everything set up during the week and then tear everything down, live as normal. And as soon as it's on, it's not like, oh, well, what is this supposed to be on? How bright or anything? You just look at the piece of tape and it tells you everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's really smart.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal that trick.
Yeah, do.
It will save you so much time.
So much time.
Because one of the things, obviously we're husband and wife, so we get along fantastically. We never really argue about anything. The one thing we do argue about is when we are setting up. We stress, like, does this look like shit?
It's mostly over here.
Like, because, she wants everything to look beautiful. And so we know where we want the camera position, and she may have the camera position there. And then, I'll go stand in, or we'll have a kid stand in or whatever. And we're like, the light is too hot or whatever. So we start getting frustrated with light placement and stuff. So it's good to be able to do that behind closed doors, so we can be irritated. And it's not like we're throwing stuff or breaking stuff, but like, we're irritable. And if you had 15, cast and crew around, and they're trying to like relax and get into the mood, and we're like, fucking plug that in, move the cord, we're like, whatever.
It's mostly like, this isn't sorry, I don't know if we can swear or whatever.
Go ahead.
It's like,
it's
this
totally
isn't fucking
fine.
working. Come on, let's, and it's just like, I get to the point where it's just like, we've moved this light 6 times. It should be where it needs to be, but it's not. And I'm just like, I don't want people to have to deal with me being in that kind of a mood.
So that was paramount for us, was to knock out all of those setups ahead of time. And, Megan would, we had the slate. And so we would flip the slate around backwards and write on it with a dry erase marker. Like, this is scene C27. This is, and we'd write how many lights are used, and all the
What
technical,
lens, the focal length, everything.
all of that would be on that slate. And I would stand and take the picture. And then we basically used those pictures as storyboards to where we could line them all up, print them out, and we had a binder. So when the cast and crew got here, those lights and everything would already be set up, and we're like, okay, you stand on that green tape and say your lines. Everything's set. We're ready to go. And so it was so fast in that regard, but it took a week setting all that stuff up ahead of time, but it was worth it.
So with the first Tapehead movie, we shot everything in chronological order. Most everything in chronological order. And that's because we had everybody for the whole weekend. They all stayed with us. And we could do it that way. With this movie, we shot over, I think, 4 or 6 weekends. So we would ask people to be there Saturday and Sunday, through the month of August, and, trailing after that a little bit. But people had prior obligations. So it's like, well, we have to shoot out of order, and we'd never done that before. And we were kind of like, oh my God, what if we missed something? And so, it was very important for us to have everything labeled and scheduled out, and doing the prep work of putting the tape down and everything, and check marking everything that we have done. Really, really, I think we maybe missed 2 or 3 shots at the whole movie.
And the only reason we missed those is it was like a time crunch. One of our actors had a prior obligation and was like, I can only be here X amount of hours. And so we're like, okay. And we were, right on track, getting everything done. And then the actor was like, am I good to go? And we're like, yeah, totally, you're good. And then they leave, and then we're like, okay, we're going to move on to our next setups. And then we're like, crap, missed those. But, it was totally not like a big deal. They weren't like giant shots or anything, just little insert things. So that was really the only hiccup, I think, as far as, and that, like,
scheduling was like the biggest hiccup, because like our 2 main characters, what one of them lived in Kansas, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and the other one was just really busy with a lot of other stuff. So um, getting them there at the same time kind of proved to be
It was
a little bit
tricky.
of a problem. But thankfully, the time that we did have, we were able to get everything that we needed done. And and then that's kind of going back to, the difference between the first one and the second one. We didn't think that there would be anybody who would be willing to give that much time to us.
Mhm.
So that's why we were like, we'll just do it in one weekend, we'll stay up late. It'll be like, this crazy thing. And then we were like, this just doesn't work, and then that was our big thing. We were so scared that we wouldn't be able to find people who would dedicate that much time to us. And it was amazing. We had people fighting over it, like, oh no, we'll help you, we'll help you, we'll help you.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, now that the movie's out and people know that we're serious and that we, get this kind of stuff done, we've got even more people who are willing to give us their time and energy and just to be part of it. They're like, well, you don't have to pay me or anything. I just want to be part of it.
Yeah.
We've got a local theater group that's very active in our community, and we've got a lot of interest from them for the stuff that we're going to be shooting later on. So we're actually going to be able to hold auditions for our next one.
The first
And
time ever.
yeah, and so we're really
Whoa.
excited that it's not like, oh, you'll do. Everybody did great in this movie, but I think maybe we had 3 people who had ever acted before, and everybody else, it was their first time. And so obviously it was easier to work with the people who kind of know
Yeah.
what to expect and what's expected of them. And so we're really excited to be able to have more of that. Obviously, we're not going to have everybody be the professional actor because we have people who we want to have back,
Yeah.
but we are excited that we get to hold auditions and be a little bit more picky on who on who we're going to
Cool.
get.
That's awesome. You clearly learned a lot from the making the short now to making the feature. I'm curious what you've learned from making the feature that you're going to do differently on your next one.
Food is a big thing.
Oh man. Yeah, for anyone not familiar with this, that is the single most consistent piece of advice that I have read from every single person on any budget. That the most important part of the shoot is feeding your cast and crew well.
Yes, feed them well.
That's not something that before I started, really getting into the art of filmmaking, that is not something I would have guessed.
Mm-mm.
Food and bathrooms. Everyone's got to have some private place to go to the restroom, or and also just space in general. Like if some people that you're working with, they might really benefit from getting into their character elsewhere, as opposed to we're like a big fraternity of goons all together. We're like super cool with all hanging out on the couch and laughing until it's time to work. Certain people might be like, I need to go off and become this person or whatever. So space, food,
a private bathroom, because that was one of the downfalls of working in the house. Our bathrooms are right where we're filming, and so there was no separation, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I gotta poo, but everybody's around.
14 people standing in the living room, and I'm dropping a boom boom.
The first Tapehead, there was a bar and a restaurant right where we were shooting, and we were like, we got food covered, and they were closed the whole time. Like anytime we were filming, they were closed. And so there was not a lot of food for the first one. And if you don't want people hangry, and you don't want a lot of people hangry,
hot and
hangry. And it was hot. And so with this one, we actually asked we went around town asking for donations. It was like, hey, if you can give monetary donations to this thing that we're doing. And a lot of them were like, well, we can donate food. And so I think we got 20 pounds of hamburger meat donated to us from our local Hy-Vee.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, it was
Fairway.
Fairway. My bad. Fairway, our local Fairway, which is a
Shout out to
Midwest.
Fairway.
Yeah.
They rule. They saved us. Man.
They really did. And then we had some just citizens. Jacob Cross, he's from a couple towns over. He made some pork tacos, I think it was. Oh my gosh, they were so good. And then we had to turn people away. Some people wanted to cook for us, and we're like, oh, we've already got it all covered. So food is a big love language for a lot of people. And so it's amazing how many people just want to cook for big events like this, and we're lucky enough to have a lot of those people around us. Dustin's mom cooked when we did the garage sale scene. She cooked us a big meal. I can't
So it was sloppy joes and stuff. And that's one thing also, which when you've never made a movie or like been in like if I just call it an event, if you've had to be in charge of an event and you have all of these different personalities, some people are vegetarian, they're vegan. It's important and it's hard for us because we're in this weird little Midwest area where it's like, you don't eat meat, like
there's something wrong with you.
what's going on here? But like, yeah, so you've got to take into account like dietary restrictions and things like that. So that is a challenge. That and the scheduling, like Megan said, I would say is like they're the biggest hurdles. But and that will be our takeaway when we go to work on our next feature is we'll make sure long before we even have people on the way to the set or whatever that we've got food covered for every day, that it's a wide assortment, which you will lose a lot of your money unless you're getting food donated to you, which I truly encourage that. Like Megan said, go around when you're working on your next short and you're going to have 5 or 6 people involved, go around to your local grocery stores, even fast food places like Subway, and ask them if there's some sort of a gift card or something that, like, hey, I'm a local film producer and I got to feed X amount of people on these days. Is there anything you can do? Worst they can say is no. So,
and we found a lot of luck with friends and family too. Bigger corporations, some of them are like, well, we need a nonprofit and we need this
tax ID or whatever.
All of these different documents and stuff. So, it is a lot about calling in favors from people. Sorry, there was something I was going to say, but I've lost my train of thought. I'll think of it.
Oh, based it off.
Right. Yeah. This matches up with a lot of the other advice that I've heard before. And I got to say, I am trying to imagine myself doing that. And it seems so awkward and like,
it is really awkward. Yeah. There's a lot of people out there who want to help you and they feel good about being helpful and about being a part of something that's bigger than themselves.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
No,
so what I was going to say is what we were able to do is, again, we live in a small town. I'm not sure exactly where you live, if it's small town, big city.
I live in Pueblo, Colorado, population 100,000.
Oh, yeah.
So that's big. That's massive. A lot bigger than our town.
Yeah, we have like
10,000 maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the local paper has done a few stories about us. And so we were able to like photocopy one of the stories, Mattson family makes feature-length horror film. So we had a copy of that. And then we had some screenshots of the film. We had like a synopsis, and then we had all of our dates in a folder. And these are the dates we're shooting. So we're looking for food for these days or whatever. And we're able to go and kind of almost like a PowerPoint presentation. Like, this is me, this is my wife, or my family's doing this, and lay it out for them. And some people would be like, nah. And then other people would be like, yeah, give us a call. What do you need? Had we not done that, I'm trying to think what even 20 pounds of hamburger would cost. Like, it's like $7 a pound for the stuff that we buy. So I'm like, whoa, yeah, yeah, be broke. Plus then all your hamburger buns or whatever. So it's a weird thing to think about when you're talking about like making a movie, but.
And I mean, I don't really think there's a downside of going and asking people. And even if they say no, they've heard about it. And then if it gets traction, they're like, whoa, oh man, they came and asked me to do that. Oh, whoa, I'm going to have to check that out. It really creates a lot of buzz because it's not something that people do a lot. And so that kind of gets people talking too. And that was kind of like, our second goal for going out and asking for the money and the donations is to just get the word in people's ear, because you hear Tapehead in this town and everybody knows what you're talking about now. So it's kind of neat. And it's just like a head turner. It's like, Tapehead, what? I know about that, So with our small town, we are able to engage most of the town. With someone like 100,000, that's a lot, but that's a lot more people that can hear about it too.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, you're completely right, but it's still funny to me to think of Pueblo as a big city because like it is the smallest place I've ever lived.
Oh wow.
And I mean, compare it with like Denver, which is 2.5 million, and like New York, which is like 15 million.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah, and Pueblo definitely has a lot more of the small town vibe going on than like Denver does. I go watch movies at the drive-in, that sort of thing. And yeah, there's a lot of small local restaurants and things like that compared with chains and stuff. So yeah, that's all very encouraging.
Yeah, man,
cool.
make it happen. Just beat the street and just get everyone on board. Like get everyone listening to you. Because like I said, the worst they can do is say no. So like asking, pull every favor you can possibly pull. We asked people in this town, and so this is an example, like my hometown where we shot the yard sale stuff. I grew up there my entire life. We asked them, hey, we went to the city hall. Is it possible? Could we like maybe perhaps block off the street for this day so no traffic comes through while we're filming? And my hometown was like, fuck off. No, like we'd have to have a meeting. It'd have to go before the committee. Like you're talking like another month or two. And the answer's still probably going to be no. That's my hometown. This town that we live in now, I was kind of feeling like that was going to be the answer. And Megan was like, let me ask like the Chamber of Commerce or, City Hall or whoever, if we're able to block off streets, if we're able to shoot in certain alleyways, this and that. I'm like, they're going to say no. They don't care about some little $7,000 movie. And everybody was like, yeah, sure. Like the city came here with a giant truck and gave us those like 5-foot tall cones. They gave us like 40 of those. And they're like, just don't leave them in the street. Like put them away when you're done. And so we were able to block off streets essentially whenever we wanted for like a reasonable amount of time.
Fantastic.
And, so yeah, like again, the worst that can happen is someone says no. But
with that being said, there was planning that went into blocking off of the streets. So like we couldn't just do it willy-nilly. We do live on a emergency route. So there were some stipulations like we had to have people manning the cones in case an emergency vehicle did come by, because we live next to an apartment building that all of their fire alarms are hooked up to our local fire station. And when people cook dinner, they get smoky. And so every day, at least once, there is a call to that apartment building. Yeah. And the fire station is on the other side of town. So they're always going past our house. So, yeah, but luckily.
Really irritating for the firefighters.
Yeah, it is. It's good because it's got to be just like, someone's just making toast, man.
Popcorn,
I'm sitting here at 5:30 at night trying to eat my dinner and someone's making toast and the alarm's going off. So yeah, but luckily that weekend, the weekends that we had it, I think we maybe had to move it once and they even turned, so we really didn't even have to move it. So thankfully everybody had their cooking situation under control.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's inspiring. I like that. That's really cool.
I'm telling you, man, if we can do it, anybody can do it. So.
Yeah, that's really great. So When was it that you made the original short? How many years ago was that?
It's been what,
2?
2? Yeah, because
Okay, so not
we filmed the feature last summer, which is crazy for me to even say, because it just feels, I mean, we watched it every single day, so it feels like it never went away. It feels like we're still filming it, even though it's on Blu-ray. But yeah, so that would have had to have been 2 years. So
Yeah.
2 summers ago.
Well, that's a great pace, being able to go from the short to this, full-on feature in 1 year difference.
A lot of growth, man. And that's why, and also when we got done with the feature, it was like, we're not shooting a feature next summer. I'll tell you that. Like, woo. And so,
and then now here we are.
Well,
I mean, it's not a feature, but we're doing Bike Ninja.
we're shooting these. It's a little mock trailer.
The fake trailer. Yeah.
Fairly simple, but also that's still going to take, we have some big things we want to do. So we have to, coordinate with our effects artist and our other people that we're casting, and then this location that we're going to use. So,
and it's already July 30th.
I know, like
oh my gosh,
we're running out of time. The kids are about to go back to school and all that stuff. So
Tyson's starting to grow a beard.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh man,
time is running out.
Yeah. The a trailer is more complex in terms of like number of different shots than like an equivalent length short film would be. So I can imagine that would be more difficult.
Yeah, one of the people I was talking to was like, "Man, maybe that could be like your thing. You could just make a bunch of mock trailers. Seems like it would be cheaper and faster." I'm like, "Well, but the trailer has to portray that there's an entire feature. So there's a billion different setups. There's, wardrobe and props to make you think there's a full movie. So it's still expensive, but super cool. I don't know if you're a fan of Steve Kostansky, who made like Psycho Gorman and
Oh yeah, I've
Manborg.
seen that.
And he also made The Void. I love that guy.
That one's on my list. I didn't know that was the same guy.
Yeah,
Cool.
He's like a young kid, like a young, goofy, quirky kid, but he made this movie called Manborg. That was like his first movie. And he basically filmed it in an empty room. They just green screened it, and it looks crappy. The green screen is terrible, but he did it all by himself. He built these little models and made this movie, like he made miniatures and stop motion and stuff. And when I look at his stuff, like that's the biggest inspiration for me, is like, yes, we can tell this is stop motion. Yes, we can tell this is green screen. It looks wonky, but there's so much heart involved, and if that's like the audience we try to reach is, there's people who are going to watch our movie and be like, well, this isn't as good as Annabelle or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, but Annabelle is like quite possibly my least favorite horror movie that I've ever seen.
It's rough. But, there's those people who expect that money, that look in a movie. That's a casual horror fan. And then you dig deeper and you find a horror fan who's like, I do like Don Dohler. I do like Lloyd Kaufman. I do like, all these different weird, quirky guys. And it's important for us to find that audience. And that's where you have to get out and beat the street. And that's why we're putting it in festivals and going to start doing as many conventions as possible. Because like your average run-of-the-mill horror fan, they expect, Halloween ends or whatever, Halloween Kills, which whatever. But
that's not our demographic though. So, and I think that we kind of find our audience,
Yeah.
So we've only had amazing feedback from everything so far. So everybody that's in our circle and that's seen it locally, they've loved it and thought it was amazing. We can still see its flaws and everything that we need to still work on. But even knowing what, we consider is wrong with it, I'm very, very proud of us with this one, a lot more so than the first one. I mean, we did a lot of work with the first one, and there are so many people who really like the first one, but you know, the first one is kind of like our kindergarten art project, and now this Tapehead, this is our senior year, and now I feel like our next one will be like, our college thesis and stuff, like, the growth. Hopefully that's, the pattern will keep, as much as we've grown from the first one, I hope we grow that much from this one too.
Absolutely.
And then going back to Annabelle, it was a terrible movie, but is that the one where they're in the elevator?
Yeah.
Okay, that scene is very suspenseful though. I was like, I had to put my feet up because I was like, something's gonna grab me during that. But no, Annabelle is a terrible movie, but that one scene right there, it was pretty suspenseful. So and then I want to go back to the short, The Bike Ninja. We're lucky enough, we've got a lot of really cool resources around us, our town being so accepting of this project and our future projects. And then we've got a really cool zoo that's by us that has this new Asian exhibit in it, and we're going to be able to like film some of Tyson's scenes for the short at our zoo too, so that's going to be a really cool thing.
Sorry, that's a little weird known fact. Like where we are in Iowa, we're right on the edge of Missouri, but we're right on the edge of Nebraska also, and we're like furthest away from like Minnesota and stuff like that. But so us being right on that little corner where we can make a hop and be in Kansas City, or we can make a hop and we can be in Omaha, Nebraska, and like we can be in Omaha in like 40 minutes. And Omaha has one of the best zoos in the world.
I think it's rated like the second best zoo in the whole world. It's the Henry Doorly Zoo.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And their new Asian exhibit is super, super cool. And we went a few weeks back because we have a pass, so we go frequently. And we're in the Asian exhibit, and they've got all these super cool like concrete pillars and look like I don't know what I would try, like look like dojos almost, like little places where you would train karate. And I'm like, we should shoot
going
here.
to film this here.
Yes. So pull some strings and we're gonna make that happen. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. I love when low budget movies like this find really unique local resources and make good use of them. I really love it when filmmakers are about creative problem solving instead of just throwing money at it. Like,
yes,
if you had the money, sure, you could build a set like that, but why do that when you can find something cool and unique like this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
And that's
like guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah. And that's the deal with this house. I think I talked to you about it last year when we were prepping to shoot this. The original plan, if we had, because I have to bring this up every time we talk about the movie. We had an Indiegogo campaign. We set the goal for $20,000. We failed miserably and made about $5,000. And then Megan and I were able to kind of pool together a little bit of extra money. So our budget went up to about $7,000. But originally we were going to rent an Airbnb like every weekend we needed to film, and then just that way we could house everybody and film there. And then it just became to where it just didn't seem practical. One, it's expensive to continually rent this place. But two, let's say we're 3 weeks into filming and then we come up the next weekend and now they've got a new couch, and we were like, well, that would not work. And so begrudgingly, she allowed me. I was like, I think we should just shoot it here. Because originally she's like, that's madness. You want to shoot a whole movie in our house? And I'm like, I think we could get away with it. Like, we use this, certain rooms for makeup and wardrobe, and just not show the rooms because we're in the process of remodeling our house anyway. It's been a 13-year project. But,
you're never done.
Yeah. And so there's certain rooms where we're like, we can't show that on camera. It looks like crap. So, but the rooms that we're confident with, we're like, sure, why not? And that also takes a little bit of pressure off your shoulders too, because if you have to chop down a door or, you know,
spray blood everywhere.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
this is just our house. It's not somebody else's house. So I'm like, I don't care. Go ahead and bloody it all up.
Yeah, we're gonna clean it up, and if it stains, we will repaint. We'll deal with
Right?
it. So
Well, it's a memory.
yeah, exactly. So a lot of our white baseboards are stained with blood, but it is what it is, you know. And
But the blood that we used actually was some of the blood was very stainy, and
stainy.
other ones were like soap based, and it's just like, dang, you can tell where there was blood because that's the cleanest part of the house.
I love that soap-based blood.
It's
I will tell you that.
amazing.
It tastes like shit. Don't put
Don't
it
put
in
it
your mouth.
in your mouth. Yeah.
But yeah,
Is
it's
it
awesome.
like dish soap and food coloring pretty
Uh,
much, or
Called stage blood.
It's
okay.
created by CFX, or not CFX. It's created by holy crap, I'm on the spot. I can't think of it. I will send you links.
Okay.
I buy everything from them, and I can't think of their name, and that's not good. But
It'll come to you.
but yeah, their blood. You can get it in. You know, you can get little bottles of it, or you can get gallons. And I don't know, we had like 8 or 10 gallons of their blood, because I was like, if we're gonna splatter it around, it better look good. And I really like the way their blood looks, and obviously it cleans up like a dream.
It really does. It's amazing.
Oh,
And it
that's
smells
nice.
great too.
I almost had it, and then I forgot it. So nope.
And
I'll bring it up later.
for my short, my first like real short that I did, we did, like you said, make use of get a local bar to let us shoot in their space. And we were originally going to do the food dye and corn syrup thing, but that stains too much, and we didn't want to stain up their bars, so we used chocolate syrup, and then had all of the shots where there's blood being splattered around. Those shots are in black and white. And the chocolate syrup cleans up super easy compared to corn syrup with food dye in it.
Thank you, Hitchcock.
Yeah, that's exactly the logic that we did there with the make it black and white, and it looks good.
Yeah, and it's not translucent, which a lot of fake blood has that, like, you can see through it, and real blood is opaque and like, yeah, it doesn't like run like water. It's a little thicker, a little slower. So yeah.
Man, awesome. So normally I ask folks about how filmmaking has changed over the course of their careers, but since we spoke so recently and there's been so little time since your last one to your newest one, that question doesn't seem really relevant. What do you see coming in the future, and how has that changed, like in terms of independent filmmaking, and how has that changed since I asked you that question less than a year ago?
I'll let Megan handle this, since you haven't asked her. My answer still is going to be, with the use of cell phones and whatnot, people are, it's more accessible to make films and have them look good. And then also that the use of those digital production. I really think digital production is it's going to work for big budget movies. I don't like it. I thought I was going to like it, but
yeah, I remember you being excited about that.
We recently watched the new Shazam movie, and every time I'm like, well, that's a set platform of a roof, and then everything behind them is that digital, it's clearly built on like Unreal Engine, and it looks so, I thought it was going to look more realistic than a green screen, but it really pulled me out of it. I'm just like, like you're,
Is that what they did with Creed too?
Yeah. Where like they're in the boxing ring, and the entire, audience and the whole auditorium is on one of those, whatever, digital screens, and it's all fake.
Yeah.
And
I had no idea.
Dude, you can tell so hard, like, because they don't have that green overglow like you would get with poorly lit green screen.
Right.
But
they didn't get the focal length right. Like you can just tell that this is not how they would look if they were in camera.
And that really, like, as much as
That's
I
so
wanted to,
surprising.
I
Mhm.
wanted to love those Creed movies, especially, like 2 and 3. But boy, does that suck you right out of it. And you're like, you're not even in a building. Like, how hard is it to, like, you have $1 billion. You can't rent a building and put like
People in it.
extras there.
Like,
I don't.
well, I know with COVID, though everybody's
Yeah.
like, oh, we can't get groups of people together.
You can make people on Unreal Engine and have them sit in chairs.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever.
And
I don't
it's
like
just
that.
easier. I mean, I know that there's struggles and stuff with digital art, and it's an art. You have to be good at it, otherwise it does take you out of it.
Mhm.
And there's that new Attenbomb documentary about the
Oppenheimer?
dinosaur. No, the dinosaur. It's David Attenborough, or I can't think of his last name. Anyway, they've got dinosaurs in that. Digital art is really, really good, but
Mhm.
then you've got stuff like Creed where it's just terrible. So there's an art to it, and if you're good at it, you can't even tell. But if you're not good at it, that's when you can see it.
So
Yeah.
what do you think is gonna like change?
Well, I was going to say the same thing. It's just getting easier and easier for people to make movies, and I think that you'll see more people doing it. And I just think that the technology is going to make it so independent people can do bigger and better things with such a small budget.
It's true. So sidebar to that, just as a LiDAR scanning. Obviously, you make 3D models and whatnot, so you understand these types of
I do
things.
not make 3D models.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you made little models, your own models for your.
No,
your,
I hired
table.
someone else to do that.
That also works. So with like LiDAR scanning and stuff, which I'm not savvy. I'm not a smart person when it comes to that stuff. But Dylan Weeks, who plays Tapehead in both films, he has like the newest iPhone, and it has a LiDAR scanner. So
Goodness.
we had Tapehead like in costume, and we did a full 3D LiDAR scan of him, and then we're able to import it into the computer, put it into Unreal Engine, or not Unreal, put it into Blender, and break it down. So now we have a 3D model of Tapehead that we can print, paint, and sell as. And it was like, just walk around with a camera, or like walk around with your phone, and now we have like consumer grade 3D model of Tapehead. And
another cool thing about our town is our library has a 3D printer that all you have to do is rent the filament and
pay for the film,
and that's it. And they don't even upcharge you or anything for it. It's just at cost. So
That's great. Yeah,
yeah.
I love how libraries have really been doing a good job of staying relevant with the times.
Which is amazing. I love libraries. I think they're amazing.
Our library
Libraries are so good.
Yeah, our library is awesome.
We have magicians here all the time, and like scientists, like for the kids. Wink, wink. Megan goes to the magicians. That like they make the elephant soap and or elephant toothpaste that like shoots off into the air, and we do like rock painting and stuff here in town too. And it's a really cool library. It is. I like it a lot.
And yeah, we do love magic. We see as many magicians as humanly possible.
Oh man. Yeah, our library doesn't have magicians often, but they did the rock painting thing is also really popular here.
Oh, nice.
And they do showings of movies occasionally. I watched Zebulon Pike and the Blue Mountain, which is directed by a local director, John Johnson here, who I also interviewed about that in the library. The only in-person interview I've done.
Nice.
And then he also made Curse of the Blue Lights, which you can watch on YouTube. It's an old horror movie from the 80s.
Nice.
So it's filmed here in Pueblo, Colorado, and set in a fictionalized version with a different name. So definitely
I'll look into that.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on and talking. It was really great having both of you on here. It's what was it? Linktree. What was the
movie?
Yeah, Linktree.tapehead/Tapehead movie.
You have everything in there, yeah. So
yeah, you can get the Blu-ray, the soundtrack, vinyl soundtrack. all sorts of stuff. And of course, the original Tapehead short is available on YouTube for free. And the title says Tapehead full movie, so you listeners don't be misled by that. That is the original short film. So
Yes.
watch that, and then if you like it, check out the feature length Tapehead: The Return of Jacob Cobb.
Please, God, help us grow. Yeah, one person at a time for sure.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you'd like to tell people to check out?
You want to plug your business?
Oh,
no photography. She doesn't want to. So that's she's very modest. She hasn't said that in this podcast, but my wife is a professional photographer. That is her, that's her daily grind. So that
explains how you managed to get the movie to look so good.
Mm-hmm. She knows what she's doing, and I guess if I have to plug anything, our YouTube channel is 3B Video on YouTube, and that's where you can also find that Tapehead full-length movie. We have a podcast that's bi-weekly, the Deep Cut Podcast, available on all podcast apparatuses, and
there's a Patreon.
Yeah, we have Patreon. I can't think of anything else. Yeah, there's a bunch of random stuff out there on the internet that leads you to me. You can find me on Facebook at Dustin Mattson, Instagram at Dustin Mattson 3B, which is the one I use the most because I don't like Facebook or Twitter or
X.
Whatever
X
it's called now. It's called X.
What a terrible thing to do.
Social
Everybody knows it as Twitter. Nobody's going to call it X.
Social media is just not really for me, but if you send me a direct message, I will respond. Because like everybody else, my phone is always in my goddamn pocket. So
yeah, I was gonna say, for somebody who doesn't like social media, you're very responsive on it.
Yeah, I really try to be. I feel like there's nothing worse than ghosting someone or whatever. I don't like that, and I understand the need for mental health, because sometimes I will just plug my phone in and get away from me. I can't do this. But I really just feel like a jerk if I don't respond. So, yeah.
Once that message is going to the 100,000s, I'm sure he won't feel as obligated to respond to everybody.
It's 4 people a day. I totally gotcha. So,
awesome. Yeah. So, listeners, feel free to reach out to Dustin with all of your annoying questions and clog up his inbox.
Do it,
because he'll respond.
Come on, do it. I'm here. Come on. Yes.